I couldn't square the club face until I started doing this move here. I used to massively have a big problem with hitting the ball out towards the right. Big, massive block shots, sometimes push slices, but occasionally I would throw in there a little left one every now and again for an overcorrection of that problem. So this is something here where how I fixed it would fix so many of you out there just implementing this move. But what we're going to get into in this lesson also, not only what I did, which is extremely simple to fix this, but also what I see amateur golfers do. Two other reasons I see so many of my students, or just amateur golfers in general, who struggle with hitting the ball right, and we're going to square up that club face finally. So number one here is what I did, but this is what so many golfers out there do as well. See this all the time in lessons on Skillist. And that is, I used to have the classic forearm rotation in the takeaway. I used to do this from when I started golf at 10 years old, all the way up until I was in my 20s. I was still doing this move every now and again. It really wanted to hold on into my golf swing. So it would flare up every now and again, and I'll get this big forearm rotation, and you're going to see from here, I'd hit these huge right ones that were really weak as well. So if we can see there from that one, this is an 8-iron. Now, albeit I did not really go at that, so 105 yards. But look at that club face angle. Face to target, 6 right. 6. That's crazy. So of course, if some speed was applied to that, I'll be going further, absolutely. But not far off from what I used to do from that big forearm rotation. So forearm rotation, if you've got a standard neutral grip, forearm rotation will open up that face. So if you see here kind of with the palm of the hand rolling towards its face in the ground, that's forearm pronation, left forearm pronation. You can see with that standard grip, that opens up the face massively there. So not good for us. We, of course, do not want that, because if we, let's say, then move ideally in the downswing, that face is just going to stay open, but we would most likely have to do something to be able to counteract it. So that's where every now and again you can have that movement where you have that forearm rotation and then massively try to over square it like there, and you can hit it miles left, as you can see there. Of course, I exaggerated it a little bit, but we can see there, face to targets 10 left, and the club face was open early. So that's how you can hit the ball left with the club face being open. Counteracting, you could do that on the golf course. That's army golf, right, left. So getting that movement fixed, what did I do? I did this one fill. This is right as, okay, this is still not too long ago, as Matthew Wolff started coming up. So good, let's say 5-6 years ago when Matthew Wolff came on the scene, it was as he was still a collegiate golfer. And he had that crazy takeaway where his hands go massively in, but the club goes hugely outside the hands. So I started playing around with that feel. Hands go in, club goes out. Because you can see that stops that forearm rotation. Where's the palm of my hand now? It's pointing up and behind me. So I went and tried to do that feel, really exaggerated it, hands in, club out. So again, it's not going to look like it when I do this shot, but you're certainly going to see a little bit more hands in, a little bit more club out. And we're going to see there a much straighter shot. Look how much better that face to path, or face to target, sorry, is. Hugely better, and of course distance was much better also. So having that feel in there was absolutely instrumental, and I was generally feeling like I was Matthew Wolff here, really getting that feel out there. So let's hit another one, really get that feel. Hands massively in, club hugely out, almost feeling like Jim Furyk. But again, this is exaggeration. You have to exaggerate to be able to make the change. Let's have a look there. As we can see, way better. Again, face target is actually left. So that's where, for me, now my little miss that I'll hit every now and again, you've probably seen in my videos, it goes a little bit left of target sometimes, but not hugely left, nowhere near missing it, like missing the green wise. Again, we're only hitting an 8-iron, but still a very serviceable shot. If a lot of you guys can get out there a face to target left, of course we want it being square, but again, this is, you know, your club path needs to be relatively nice and tight to be able to hit a good golf shot doing it. That club path on that one was maybe a little bit on the excessive side, but you need that club path to be relatively within 3 degrees one way or the other would be ideal, as we can see there, not quite. So absolutely, you need that, and then you're not going to have much curvature, and you're going to be in a much better spot. So a little drill to be able to do to be able to fix this. This is one that I do a ton, and I do a lot with my students also. It's just getting an alignment stick, putting it up the left-hand side of your body and just sliding it down your left side there. So you can see, just sliding it down the left-hand side. What's that doing to me? That is getting it to where I'm having this nice hands in, club out. If I start a forearm rotation, there we go. I'm going to have that horrible move to where that disconnects from my side. So I want to keep it sliding down the side, just get that feeling in, and then take that away after you've done a bunch of those, get that same feeling. And let's hit another one. So after replicating that exact same feel, much better shot there. So absolutely, straight away you can make gains from it, but you really have to over-exaggerate it, which is why the Matthew Wolff feel helps so much. So let's get into another reason here. So the second reason that I see golfers mainly have that club face open up and that club face struggle to square. The first one here was my one, which will be a lot of you out there. Let's dive into some more. So if you want to make great improvements like you're seeing here with my students, now is the time to start working on your golf swing, and we can do that all online on Skillist. So with my online coaching, I've got plenty of options to suit your needs there, whether it's the brand new winter subscription, which is 4 lessons per month for under the price of 2 single lessons. That's a brilliant one, extremely popular. Or we could even go with a 2 lesson or unlimited lessons or whatever lesson package, single lessons, 2 lesson package, 3 lesson package, whatever you want, I've got it there to suit your needs. So there's a link in the description that takes you straight to my Skillist page. So from there you can see everything I've just discussed with the subscriptions and the packages, and also from there you can message me personally and we can discuss what we need to do with your golf swing, what will be the best plan of action for you, and we can get started straight away. So if you want to make great gains this winter time, make the most out of your practice, let's get to work online via Skillist anywhere in the world. So the second one, this is actually something, again, I've struggled with in the past, very briefly, but this is so common, and that is your grip, but not necessarily your left hand. So many golfers are aware of having a nice neutral left hand. Some golfers may be stronger if they struggle with an open club face. But golfers routinely neglect the right hand. They completely forget about it, to where I see so many golfers with their right hand on the golf club so weak. So how do we determine what a weak right hand is? So a weak right hand, that line that gets created between the thumb and the meat of the hand, the V, you can call it. If we're having that going up the middle of the body, God forbid more left of that, more towards that left shoulder, that's incredibly weak. Middle of the body, that's weak, more neutralizing as soon as we got it to pointing towards kind of like right pec, right shoulder region. That's more of a neutral right hand grip. That's where we want to be. If you've got this hand on in a really kind of weak fashion there, it becomes incredibly hard to be able to square that club face. So let me again exaggerate one here. I'm going to grip this club and I'm going to have it to where I've got it really weak. So I've got it to where that line is pointing towards that left shoulder. Have a good look at this when you go and look at your grip when you hit balls next after watching this video. So this is going to cause me to have a little forearm rotation also. It's just going to open the face wide up. So let's hit one here. Let's have a look at that. Again, way out to the right. Again, you can see face to target. That's a big number. Of course, that's just going more and more offline. So not great for us. We don't want that. Again, like we said, what do we want? We want to have that right hand there. We want that line, that V pointing towards the right pec area. So again, let's make that little change. I would very much recommend a grip trainer. That'll be a really good one for you guys to get. You can get ones off Amazon where you can just kind of just slide them on. It's normally like, I'd say probably like Skills Golf, I think it's called, do good ones, but anyone will do. You just have a little grip trainer on there, and don't feel bad about using a grip trainer, thinking they're only for beginners. Scotty Scheffler uses a grip trainer every time he practices. So, you know, he's a good golfer. So absolutely, there's no shame in using them. You've got to have that grip in a good spot. So let me have that better grip. Let's hit one here. Way better. Way better. So absolutely, really instrumental. And if, as well, this is a thing that can be very helpful. If you want to use something that measures your swing path, or let's say more here, your face to target, your face angle, your face to path, like you see in the numbers here, Flight Scope Mevo Plus is what I'm using here. It is by far the best launch monitor that's affordable. It's like a $20,000 launch monitor, but for, of course, way less of the price. It's affordable. Those other ones are not affordable. So that's where it gives you all that same data. It's just as good to where I use it in all my videos. You can measure it nicely from here. Again, it's an absolute fraction of the price of a top-of-the-range launch monitor, but gives everything you want. Link in the description if you want 10% off one as well. And that's with the Pro package to get all the data that you're seeing here. So the third thing that I see so many golfers struggle with when they really can't square that face up is their wrist angles. They might, again, have a nice standard grip, but then what we see from there, they get up to the top of the swing, and they have a huge cup in the left wrist. So this big angle, if I move my watch more down, this angle here, cup. So cupping the left wrist opens up the club face. So even if I just hold it here and I cup that left wrist, you can see club face opens wide up. So golfers not knowing that they need that left wrist to be flatter. Again, if you have a stronger grip, you can play with a cup left wrist. Absolutely can. This is very much for standard grip players or even slightly weaker. You can't have that cup left wrist to be able to hit good golf shots. So again, if I really try to cup it here with this real standard grip, you're going to see again, I mean, that went so far right. I chunked it as well. That went so far right that that almost hit the right pole there. Not good, not good. So if we've got a standard grip, we want a flatter left wrist. Some of those players can actually use a little bow in the left wrist as well. So first and foremost, make sure that grip is appropriate. Don't try and bow your left wrist if you've got a stronger grip. Don't try and flatten it if you've got a stronger grip. Keep it cupped if they're the other points will be more applicable to you. So first and foremost, set up position. Let's say, okay, we've got that standard grip. How are we going to fix this? We want to make sure that we're having the hands very slightly ahead. Now, you're going to see when you do that, the club face will open up. So having yourself in that kind of more forward position with the shaft where it's inside the left leg and then gripping it will be the way to go. So that's going to preset a nice flat left wrist. A lot of golfers who have that club or let's say their hands right around just on that club head, maybe slightly behind the ball, maybe on the ball, you're going to see that presets that cup in that left wrist. So that's then, if you maintain that, it's just going to be cupped. So that's where having that little bit forward, then gripping it, will then give you that flatter left wrist. So little feels here. Now, for someone who's cupped and they want to fix it, just trying to feel flat normally doesn't move it enough. So that's where feeling like it's bowed is going to be a good one here. So this is why I'm going to give you more of a feel here. And the feel I'd want you to employ here, top of the backswing, feeling like those knuckles are pointing more up towards the sky there. Almost like you could feel the palm of your hand is pointing more down towards the ground. It is also a good one. And then as we come down, what we're going to want to feel is that those knuckles are curling down. It's almost like you're revving a motorcycle. That feeling. So curling those knuckles down more. That, as I'm demonstrating it, you can see that is bowing the left wrist. But for most of you who really struggle with that left wrist cupping, it's just going to be flattening it out for you. So really feel like, okay, knuckles can be pointed to the sky or palm to the ground, and then feel like you're revving that motorcycle on the way down. Let's see how much straighter that goes. Good stuff. Much straighter, absolutely. Now this is something, luckily in my own golf swing, I have in my swing, that bow in the left wrist. But I'm a slightly weaker grip player, so I have to have a bow in the left wrist to make sure it's square. Again, there's videos on my channel all about wrist angles, which is a really good one to watch. But absolutely, if you've got that little cup in the left wrist, that's a great feel to have. And that's going to be brilliant for you. If you can, let's say, avoid all these three, you're not going to have too much of a problem of squaring up that club face. Now, we know golf's volatile. You still can hit ones all over the place every now and again, but it will massively reduce that from happening, and it will bring in your dispersion, which will be helping your scores. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.